The Dorchester Hotel in central London hosted the 25th annual Cartier Awards, where the Sheikh Hamdan-owned Muhaarar was crowned champion sprinter of 2014.
Yes, it's been fantastic, Chris. We were lucky last year with Tagruda, and it's been fantastic to follow it up this year with a real star like Muhaarar. He's just improved and improved as the year's gone on, and it's a huge thrill for everybody, and so delighted for Sheikh Hamdan to get such a top-class homebred champion. It's wonderful.
Is that one of the important points that you made as well in your acceptance speech, that he kept improving, and really early on nobody knew how good he could be and how good he was going to be?
That's right. He was a good 2-year-old, but I don't think anybody would have said he was a top-class 2-year-old at that stage. And then we didn't really know. We were trying to get him to stay further going into the season, as you know, and Frankie gave him a peach of a ride in the Greenham. And then the French Guineas, he was drawn right out in the sticks, and really that compromised his chances. My own feeling, for what it's worth, I think he definitely would have stayed a mile, and he certainly physically doesn't look like a sprinter, but he had so much class when we brought him back to Ascot to try coming back to 6 furlongs at Royal Ascot. Obviously that was the start of it.
And he excelled, didn't he? I mean, he didn't just win that race, a high-class Group 1, he took the field apart.
Yes, he did. He was very impressive that day, which was obviously hugely exciting against the 3-year-olds, and then he had to up his game a bit against the older horses. I was particularly impressed with him in the July Cup, because he really looked like he was struggling coming down the hill, and he put his head down and really battled to the line, which was great. And then in Deauville, rather the same. He didn't look like he was going to win, and that's why I still think he probably wanted further. In fact, he wasn't just a sprinter. And then we gave him a break after a relatively hard time. And you never know at the end of the season how they're going to perform. And I'd seen him work with Richard Hills on about 2 weeks before Ascot, and he'd been very keen. And I was thinking, I hope he's not over the top, and still in good form, and he came out and he produced the performance of his life at Ascot.
That was a terrific performance to win on Champions Day. Do you think then not only talent won the way for him, but also a lot of heart? As you say, he probably could have stayed further, and to win over in France was pure heart, just to get out there and get that victory.
Yes, and to maintain that consistency and even improve then at the end of the year. I think that showed his constitution, his mental fortitude, as well as his obvious class. So yeah, he really had everything you could look for.
His Bio-Oasis dream, but I think on the dam side of it, and the mare side, I'm not mistaken, he's a bit of a sprinter in that family. That's the kind of a sprint family. What do you expect from him now that he's going to the stud? Because Oasis Dream has been a fantastic sire for sprinters. Also had Midday, a 1.25 mile horse. Where do you see this horse fitting in as a stallion?
I think you certainly get milers. Whether you get any further, as you say, he's out of a Linamix mare from a fast female family. So I think obviously sort of sprinter milers would be his forte, you would imagine. But just looking at him physically, he's not one of those blocky, compact sprinters. He's got a bit of length and stretch to him. And if he passes on his mind and half of his ability, he'll be very good at his next job.
And was it quite an easy decision to retire him as a 3-year-old and then move him on to stud?
Obviously, everybody would love to see him next year, Sheikh Hamdan included. But as everybody knows, Sheikh Hamdan is passionate about his breeding as much as his racing. He has a large broodmare band, and if you like, he had an obligation to his breeding operation to retire this horse. He was too valuable. If something had happened to him, we would never have forgiven ourselves. We waited a long time to get a horse with his looks, pedigree and class over sprint distances. He was incredibly valuable to Sheikh Hamdan's operation, and I'm just delighted that he's gone out in one piece.
He's been a wonderful horse to train, no two ways about it. Very professional, seemed to be improving all year long. And we're here tonight to celebrate this season, and it's just great he's won an award.
To win 4 Group 1s in a row as a sprinter, as a European sprinter as well, is fairly exceptional. And the way he won at Ascot, both occasions, he's really put him to the sword, hasn't he?
Yeah, one of his strengths was his consistency, really. He had a great mind, He had a great will to win as well. He had 3 Group 1s pretty close together in a 6-week period, and on ground he probably wasn't ideal on. So he just had it all really. He's a beautiful looking horse. He's not too big. He's well balanced. Good action. It's been an absolute pleasure for me to train.
Angus Gold was saying he wasn't always seen as the stable star, and indeed at Ascot he wore the second colours. So when did you really know that you had a star?
I've always known.
Of course, you're the trainer.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to do right for the horse. That's the most important thing. You don't need to start shouting about them how good they are. So, we just ran him where we thought we should run him, and they can't win every time, but he's a horse that just thrived through racing really, and he's just obviously gone on to show what a great horse he is.
And out of the wins that he had this season, what would be the highlight for you? He took on his elders in that scintillating July Cup. He won at Ascot so well. Which was the highlight for you?
I think it has to be Ascot. Champions Day. Yeah, definitely. We got a chance to freshen him up, and it was the idea to freshen him up with the management of Angus, Sheikh Hamdan and Richard Hills. Had that chance to do that, and I really feel that we probably saw him, at his best at this time.
They don't come around too often, but hopefully you'll get some more like that for the next season, and in a couple of years maybe some of Muhaarar's offspring will be coming back to you.
I look forward to them, that's for sure.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, Oasis Dream as a sire has done so well with the sprinters and at middle distance. He's a bit of a mixture, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's out of a Lindeman's mare, so I would, as a 2-year-old we were sort of trying to step him up in trip. And I'm sure he would have been a very good miler if we had to go down that route. But
when you keep winning Group 1s over the sprint,
he got quicker. That's the thing. Mentally he got sharper, and he learned how to sprint. But I would say he'd breed some nice progeny, nice horses, and they could certainly stay a mile, I'm sure.